Welcome to the CFG Game Cast, episode number 183, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode every week and release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, and so much more. So show us some love, give us a like or follow on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. Yes, first try. I am Davis Green, Mr. CFG Games himself, and with me today are my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
Oh, I went to a bachelorette party last night, and I'm slowly dying inside. I had a weird...
crazy.
Oh man, I walked like 10 miles last night. It was a lot. And our bachelorette party was a wigging out bachelorette party, so we had to wear neon wigs, which is fine. However, it's 115 out. I had to stop and get some ice cream for myself in the casino because I was so hot. And I don't really drink unless there's some vodka around, and I knew I was going to be driving many hours later, so I took some shots with the girls and immediately became sober when they started singing off key for karaoke. I was like, oh no. But I had a weird gaming week. So Demonologist, you have to be able to hear in the game, and it's proximity chat. On top of that, the ghost has to be able to pick up your microphone. And I could hear myself. I could test my mic. It showed that my mic was going. But everyone in the group were like shaking their heads like my mic's not working, my audio settings are right. And so I went through and I looked on the community tab, and sure enough, they're having like a weird issue. So we didn't get to play any Demonologist. I didn't play Tartarus Key this week like I wanted to. I had to take a couple days off. But we did play Uno. We had a savage DBD/Uno night. And
I wanted to be a part of that.
Oh, I love playing Uno. It's so much fun.
I never played the Uno version, the Ubisoft Uno, but I wanted to play Dead by Daylight. Yeah, is it fun? Okay, How many people can play it? Is it just four
It's just four people, players. Or? Yeah. So I mean, in real life, you could play with more people. You would just need to add decks. So for every 4 players, you have to have a deck. And I'm looking for Phase 10 to be on like Steam for me to be able to play, but it's on a free card game website, and honestly, I don't trust that. So how rude. I would love to play Phase 10, but so we played some Uno because that was kind of a collective game we all had. And we got down on some trash talking and playing Uno. Blue got real quiet after he lost for many rounds. He got real quiet. We're like, "Are you okay? Did you fall asleep?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "Oh."
Ooh. He's that competitive person. He's just like,
he was like, "No, I'm just tired." I was like, "Are you though?" Because the girls have been kicking your butt.
Just tired of losing.
Yeah, exactly. So we played some of that, and then on Thursday we were going to play Devour, but because it's been so hot, we've had a lot of friends elsewhere having like power and internet outages, and you can't really play Devour without 4 people. So we played some Labyrinthine, got down on that for a while, and had an absolute blast. Man, so
you just went ham on games this week. Jeez.
I didn't. I only played Tuesday and Thursday, and on Thursday. Drago fell asleep in the middle of the last match we were doing. He and I just on Labyrinthine. And I was like, why is like none of our things are pinging? And finally I go into a safe house because I'm being chased, and he's just sitting there with his head down. I go, Drago, did you fall asleep? And I see his character get roused. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. We have 1 more life left, and then we're dead. So we can end it here. He's like, okay, good. I'm real tired. I was like, I can tell you took a nap in the middle of our game. But yeah, it was kind of a slow gaming week. I really wanted to get down on some Demonologists, but y'all need to fix your thing. But other than that, bachelorette party last night. I fell asleep with my braids in still for my wig. My wig is downstairs. She might need to be thrown away after going on the strip all night.
Don't even waste your time. Just throw it away. You're good.
Yeah, it's
Just don't even waste your time on that. Just go and get rid of it. But I'm just, yeah. I mean, I don't like you try. Like, I mean, not you per se, but I know what you mean. Like when you have something like that, but it's like you're not going to use it again.
Well, I do use that wig quite often, so I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have worn that one. But it needs to be washed anyways, so maybe I'll just give her a nice hot bath later.
Hey, Lex.
Yeah.
You know who doesn't need a wig, but instead he's going to be sporting that two-string mohawk that he has going on right now?
His name is
Brontosaurus.
The 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What's going on, my dude?
Chilling, brother. It has been a fantastic week. Yesterday, actually, there was a big event. Great companies are out there like Activision, Microsoft, the folks over at Minecraft and stuff for this Vegas video game and mental wellness and mental health awareness summit yesterday. So that was fantastic. They did a gala that night as well, which I got to show you guys. I won. I donated to get raffle tickets, and I actually won a raffle, and you got to see, this thing is freaking amazing. This is, I don't know how well you can see it. It's kind of hard to see.
Oh, good night.
A dragon with brandy in it. I love the display. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah. But that was one of the prizes. They actually had 2 of them there, and I won the first one. So that was crazy. It was awesome. It was a great time. Again, it was recognizing the folks, Assemblywoman Erica, and what they were able to. They got the first basically esports day recognized in a state in this country, is here in Nevada. And, you know, they're doing great work with education and esports and video games and stuff like that as well. So always great to be able to get out into the communities, you know, see the folks that are going out there and for the education purposes, for being able to see what jobs and careers are in there. So I just love what they're doing as a city and how much Las Vegas is really growing and really embracing video games and esports. It's a great moment. So other than that, gaming wise, I've been playing a ton of Exoprimal. This is the game of 2023 that I didn't know that I needed, and I'm having a blast with it. It's a lot of fun. It is just a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
It looks fun, but at the same time, I've been on the fence about wanting to dish out $60 for that game.
Well, I was gonna say, if I didn't have Game Pass, there's no way I would have purchased that game. I'm still not sure that it's worth $60, especially because it has a battle pass as well. So they're like extra monetizing. So like that's
battle pass on top of the $60.
Yeah. And it's all purely cosmetics as well. So it's just like, come on, man. Like that is pretty grubby of them. But yeah, like I'm just enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. I'm actually going to be writing a review for it. Somebody had talked to me yesterday about it, and they have a website, and they were talking about how they didn't have anyone on staff that was playing the game. He asked me, he was like, hey, do you want to write a review? I was like, why not? So yeah, that'll be fantastic. I've been working on that and just playing the game. Yeah, and the story, dude, surprisingly, I've been enjoying the story. At first I was kind of like, what is this? But like the story's pretty decent right now. I just got to see how it all ends. But yeah, a lot of time has been there, and then kind of working my way through some Final Fantasy 16, and then a little bit of Destiny 2 as well. I've kind of slowed down on Destiny 2.
Really? Because every time when I see you playing,
Did I say mental
health in the middle
wellness?
of the day. Mental wellness. Oh my god! I can see that.
Mental health.
Mental health and wellness.
Remember, Smitty's mental wellness. Smitty,
that's cool.
We know he's in a mindscape of hell all the time. Yeah.
I'm glad you got caught. I'm glad you got caught on that one.
Trinetta says review: Dinosaurs and Robots. I don't know what else y'all need. That's true. I mean, come on. Like, I didn't even know I needed it. And I was like, this works. This works. So
I think you need to make I think you need to make it. You need to make it into more of this. Is that this the exoprimal helps your mental healthness. There you go.
We'll work it all in together. We'll work it
all together. All together. That's all you need.
Is that the game that Dust is playing?
Yes, Exoprimal. I can't play with him though because he bought it on Steam. That's one of my big gripes is that their cross play is not actual cross play. It's cross play matchmaking, but you can't play with your friends if they're on different platforms, which is
I need to add him onto my Xbox Game Pass as a family member so you can download it and play with
Actually, it doesn't even matter because they're getting rid of the Game Pass the family plan.
What?
Yeah. Oh, you weren't here last week.
You weren't here. That's what I talked about. Yeah.
On Xbox Game Pass?
Yes. Yeah. So apparently that was just a test. And it's leaving August 15th, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll roll it. I imagine they're going to roll it back out. I think they're going to adjust. We talked about it, them probably adjusting the price and then maybe lowering how many folks you can add. So we'll see. But
you should still do it if you can. I mean,
yeah.
Who's to say, like, you know, you might be grandfathered in or whatever, but
right.
See if it works, you know. Yeah, but definitely do it.
Yeah. What about you, though, man? I know you said that you had a super. You've been busy, but what have you been getting down on? I know you finished Final Fantasy 16 as well.
Oh God, Final Fantasy 16. So that story. Did you finish 16 yet?
I haven't finished it yet, dude. Yeah, no, please don't. I'll murder you.
I like that you're very compassionate. Like, yeah, please don't ruin it, or I'll kill you.
I will end you.
Raise that bar immediately to 11. Yeah, okay. Yeah, dude, like, yeah, finished 16. 16 had, like, 16 story is just, God, it's crack. It's really good. I definitely loved it. Yeah, so I finished 16. I started a new RPG. I'm playing a new one called Ease 9, Monstrum Nox. Just started maybe a day of it, so been so very early on it. But at the same time, though, like, because next week, like, I'm getting geared up for the next 2 weeks, because the next 2 weeks is going to be insane. So I just got confirmation 2 days ago that we got press access to Final Fantasy Fan Fest in Vegas, so I will be going to Vegas this week. I won't be here for the podcast next week, unfortunately. But then the cool thing about going to Vegas is that I'm going to actually talk to Yoshi P. I'm going to have an interview with Yoshi P from Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy 14 creator, producer that brought that game to its amazement now, and the creator of 16. He did create 16, so that one's going to be fun. So it's going to do that Friday night. We're going to be having a fun karaoke night with Smitty, Lex, and my friends as well. It's gonna be I don't know what to expect on that, because I know but it's gonna be fun. I know that. And then I've been gearing up for Evo 2023. So I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter 6 as of late, learning how to play one. Like, I realized that I was procrastinating because Final Fantasy 16 took more precedence than Street Fighter.
Understandable
to me. So I'm behind on learning how to play the game and the mechanics. I'm kind of glad I waited, because on Monday they're doing a major change on the controls for Street Fighter. So I'm really glad they're doing that. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you play with modern controls or classic controls?
I think I'm classic.
Okay, so, like, you remember forward dashing? You have to press forward to go into that green mode state to dash forward. Well, so, like, you know when you could do one attack, then you can cancel that attack by doing the forward dash. No, okay.
I know what you're talking about, though. I do know what you're talking about, like canceling things. Yeah.
So instead of doing the forward motion, they're going to give you a shortcut by pressing the mediums at the same time. But you have to be in neutral for that to work. So that's going to make Ken even easier to use. So I'm going to be like, so I'm working with Ken, because Ken has always been one of my favorite characters of all time to play, playing it. So I've been learning his bread and butter combos, getting ready for it. See how that's going to be. And then at the same time, while all that's happening, DreamCon is happening too. So we're going to be doing coverage over there as well. So we got 3 different events going in the next 2 weeks that I'm just going to have to be on top of. So even on my vacation, I'm working. so there you go. Yeah, so this is gonna be that's gonna be really fun to do. So, but yeah, so yeah, always busy. Gotta get paid for for the most part. So, but yeah, but anyways, I know y'all don't want to be talking about my holiday plans. So let's go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic of discussion from the previous week. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the gaming industry, and we don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners and viewers on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Kick, on TikTok, to be a part of the conversation. So if there is something that you're wanting to talk about, or something that you wanted to chime in about, whatever we're talking about, by all means, we encourage you to type it inside the chat. We want to listen on your views as well, to be a part of, and make this a roundtable discussion with you, the listeners. So we'll get this party started. I will go first. I want to talk about a game that I'm actually hyped for, because I was not really well, I guess I lied. The only game I was hyped for this year was Final Fantasy 16. Did not disappoint. But the other one, there's another game that I've been waiting for that is going that I'm definitely looking forward to playing, and that is Spider-Man 2. So as you know, what's currently happening is that San Diego Comic-Con is happening right now. Probably the most awkward San Diego Comic-Con right now, since there's no actors or writers at this show this year. But Sony did release a story trailer of Spider-Man 2 that just makes me want to play this game even more. Like they actually showed off Venom and stuff, and what even more of the gameplay itself. This looks incredible, in my opinion, how this is going to come in. It's a fully one player game, unfortunately, so there's not going to be a thing that or a chance to do co-op or anything for it, which is, you know what, I'm fine with that. Play. Yeah. I could play. I just love the storytelling on this and see how this is going to go. And I'm going to definitely look forward to seeing how the whole thing is going to because, like, I mean, the trek of the Miles Morales story was fun. The original Spider-Man story that came out, when did that game come out? Like 2017, 2018, I believe, something like that. Yeah, it's been a little bit. Yeah. So like that story was great. So I'm just assuming that this story is just going to be even better. Like we got to see, I guess that's Harry Osborn, I believe, because he was talking to Norman in that one piece of the video.
I don't think it is, right? I thought they said that it wasn't Osborn.
Was it? Okay, cool. Because I was like, wow.
I don't think it is. I think it's somebody else. I'm not sure who though.
Okay, cool. Well, that's even better then. I mean, like, that's cool. And then they showed off Craven, which is going to be freaking. Oh, I can't wait to see how they're gonna be incorporating him and stuff. So this game is going to be fire, in my opinion. And also what they also introduced in this game as well is that they're also doing a special edition case for a PlayStation 5 bundle with the PS5 in a special edition PS5 controller of Spider-Man 2. The Spider-Man 2, like, you know, like the problem I have with special edition bundles, especially as of late, like especially like, you know, how PS4 did them, they weren't really that good, and they seem like they kind of half-assed it. But I think with Final Fantasy, with what they're doing with these shell cases and stuff that they're doing, that allows you to buy the case itself instead of just buying the whole system as these collector's editions. I think it's a way better thing, kind of like what they did a long time ago with the Xbox 360 face plates that they used to do back in the day. But just as a whole system. But I'm not feeling the case as much as I am feeling. I wish I should have given you a link to actually, I'll send you a link once I share it to y'all. But
put it controller, in chat. I don't have Discord up.
The controller looks cool. The controller looks really, really cool to it. So I just want to get your thoughts. Like, what are your plans? Are you planning on getting Spider-Man 2? Or does this video make you just kind of convince you on wanting to get this game anytime sooner? What are y'all's thoughts?
Yeah, dude, the moment that they announced this game, I was already sold. I don't know about you guys, but if you played the first one, like, it was clean. The web slinging is fun. Great story. I love the fact that it is a one-player game because they are focused more on the story, so we don't have to worry about any co-op or potential live service issues. Focus on a great story. I love the fact that we're going to be getting a plethora of villains and other heroes as well. The throwback to we see Mr. Negative in this. It looks like people got new cuts, and I'm excited to see what the plan is and what they're going to do with Mr. Negative. I had the pleasure of speaking with Stephen O. Young, great dude. He plays the voice of Mr. Negative, so great character there. This is hidden. Like, I don't need to see any more. They can have my money. I'm already sold. I'm getting this. This is a day one for me. So it just looks, and this is like, these things like this are only getting me more hyped. Not to mention, we know that there is a Kraven movie coming out as well. I believe, correct? I don't know when. There's maybe Kraven next year.
I'm not really sure when it's coming out, but I'm kind of not really hyped for that at all, to be honest with you.
Why? Is it because it's from Sony?
Well, yeah, Sony really hasn't really made a, I mean, like, I guess their best thing that they've done with Spider-Man was Spider-Man 2, like back in the day with the Dr. Octopus story. But like, they haven't really given Spider-Man good, why, for instance, who decided to make a Morbius movie?
I don't know where that did. I gotta rewatch that movie.
That came out of freaking out of no. It's like, why are you focusing on these other people's I mean, these are all anti-heroes. They made 3 anti-hero movies. They made a Venom. They made now they're making a Kraven, and they're making a Morbius. Morbius was a terrible movie. And and I just don't even understand where is this like coming from for the most part,
Justin, I got you. Justin Case over on TikTok says they're currently working on the Miles DLC. Definitely will get Spider-Man 2. Dude, and like, I still need to work my way through the Miles, because I was working on the DLC for the original Spider-Man. I just haven't gone back to it. Never started the Miles, but I have that Miles like little game. And then
game. Dude, that game
I mean, it's a full game. It's a full game. But yeah, I still got some work to do, but at least I have a timeline now as to when this is coming out. So I know I gotta get on top of it. But I mean, the game was fantastic, and I made it through the main storyline for Spider-Man. So I'm excited to see, again, do the Miles Morales stuff and then hop right into Spider-Man 2. But like I said, this is day one for me. Has to be.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely. Oh, I'll put a picture of the PS5 and the controller inside there. What do you think about? What are your thoughts, Lex?
Well, I didn't finish the first Spider-Man. I haven't played the DLC. What do I always say? I hate taking
responsibility. I'm just kidding.
Pictures. I hate taking pictures of games. Dick. Responsibility for your actions? Absolutely not. A part of me is like, I need to get this. I need to get a PlayStation. I need to get Spider-Man 2. I need to get the controller. Even though my little heart is like, girl, you can't play controller. We know what happens. For my own well-being, I passed on a PlayStation 5. Smitty was like, I got an extra one. You want it? Say now or forever hold your peace. And I was like, nah, give it to someone else. I'm sure
they're not that hard to get now.
I know they're not that hard to get now. And a part of me is like, I absolutely should. And then when you were like, I might try that, the disability controller and just give it to Lex. And we were joking because I don't have a PlayStation 5, but now I might need to get one. I would love to play Spider-Man 2. It looks fantastic. And also for Kraven the Hunter, I like who's playing Kraven. I'm a big fan of him.
That's the dude who played Kick-Ass.
Yeah. Oh, he's so good. He's a good looking guy. Kind of reminds me of Adam. I think that's why I think he's cute. But Yeah, it looks fantastic. There's no doubt about it. And I babysit Smitty's littles enough that I could maybe just play over at his house. We could have a sleepover, Smitty, and we could play. You know,
That is
I'd be like,
true. That is
"Ow, my
true.
hand hurts. Your turn." Um, but yeah, it looks fantastic, and I don't doubt that it's going to be a fantastic game. I really did want to play the DLC for Miles Morales, regardless if I finished the first one or not. Now, let's be real. I have a visual problems. I have hand problems. Um, I swing into walls a lot, and by walls I mean giant buildings that otherwise you shouldn't have missed. But
to be fair, they are coming out of nowhere.
it's yeah, they walk a lot. Well,
Yeah.
it's so bright at certain points, and then when you get lower and a shadow gets cast on you from a separate building, you're like, "Oh, I see it. Oh, crap, too late." Bam, for me.
Mm.
Because I mean, I can't go outside if it's, direct sunlight without wearing a hat and sunglasses because I'm essentially like crying and it's a bad look. So in games,
Mm.
it's hard for me to adjust the gamma for the dark areas so I can see and then have it be good enough for when it's daylight and I can swing around. So I was having a lot of those issues. I'm sure they have fixed that now for a lot of people because I know in the disability community that was kind of a thing for us who have visual problems. Um, because I can see okay. I don't have peripheral, but with the game that doesn't really matter. The problem is going from bright to darkness and darkness to bright. I
Right.
can't seem to because then I have to stop, I have to go back, I have to adjust the gamma and then press play and then all of a sudden I'm not in this dark, room without windows. I'm back outside and it's daylight. So I ran into a lot of that, but even then,
Maybe
I just wanna play
maybe
it.
with how accessibility is now, how accessibility is
I
important to
think it's
Sony
a
now, and
better.
it might make it be a better experience than what you had initially.
Yeah, I
You
think
know.
so too. I mean, the disability controller looks a little silly to me. Davis kind of called it the birth control controller, and I don't disagree with that. It kinda does look like birth control. Um I I'm confused as to how it works, but I am happy because and we'd kind of talked about the pricing of that. A lot of times people with disabilities to get stuff that works for us for games, whether it's Spider-Man 2 or whatever you're playing, they hike up the prices. So it's like, ah, sucks to be you. You can't use your hands, nerd. So pay $150 for this controller when normal controllers are only this much. So the pricing of that isn't bad. So I'm really thinking about this hard right now, and you're gonna have to come back to me because I really want to
Okay.
play this. I mean,
Yeah.
Fair.
it looks fantastic, regardless if I do or not.
Mhm.
I just real quick want to shout out Chloe over on TikTok. Good to see you, my friend. Just in case, as hold on. Chloe said that special edition PS5 looks amazing. I know, I want it, dude. Those skins look great.
Me
The controller
too.
looks fantastic. It's like, ooh,
Mhm.
I don't need it, but I want it. Just in case says Morbius was horrible, but one, Jared had too much say, and two, Marvel wanted to try to control Sony. Which I think, yeah, that there's something there. It just did not
Marvel
hit.
doesn't Marvel doesn't have a pool of, like, for because they don't have the rights to Spider-Man at all. Like, the only thing they
Right.
have is they have the partnership of Spider-Man to be inside the Marvel universe, but if Sony wants to make it their own movie, like, whatever. That's probably why Sony doesn't really market Spider-Man, but all the other characters within the Spider-Man universe.
Right.
But they can do whatever the hell they want to do with the Spider-Man universe, and then just call it canon if they wanted to. But Marvel can't do anything about that because it's not theirs. It's their They got the movie. Sony has full movie rights to it. So it's just like, I mean, I totally will believe what's his name, Jared Leto, having that kind of control, but,
Leto?
like, is it Leto, Leto?
It's
I don't know,
Leto.
but okay, but yeah, but, like, overall, I just think that it's just they haven't like ever since Amazing Spider-Man, when Andrew Garfield was it,
Mm-hmm.
they just haven't hit it. It just has not hit right for Sony for Spider-Man. the thing that has been hitting was their games that they were leasing out. I mean, because they've been making, even prior to this studio making the new Spider-Man, prior games were actually were good too. So but other than that, okay. Like,
Wait,
I don't.
You said Sony
like Tom
finally
Holland,
sold their
though.
stocks to Marvel? Sony sold their stocks to Marvel?
No, Sony still has the rights to all the in a partnership. Marvel and Sony are still in partnership with each other for Spider-Man to being inside the MCU.
Inside the thing.
But no, Sony still has full rights to the Marvel to the Spider-Man universe, specifically the Spider-Man universe. Just like how until just
Fox
like
had X-Men.
like how Hulk was owned by Universal Studios until recently.
Right.
Yeah, so like, because they haven't made a Hulk movie in over a decade, the rights defaulted to Marvel. But since Sony's making Spider-Man movies like Venom and all this other stuff, still it's not being defaulted back to Marvel. They're still
Right.
they still own the rights to all of that.
Yeah.
I think what Just In Case is referencing is in 1997, Sony had the chance to buy all of the rights to every Marvel character for $25 million, and they turned it down.
Yeah, they
which
turned that down.
stupid move.
Actually, you know what?
Dang.
I'm glad they did, because
I'm glad they did too.
Yeah. I'm
But-
glad they did. Sony has not. Yeah,
Good
Sony
for
does
you.
not make any good. Like, they haven't made any good Marvel movies. But like the last Marvel movie they made that was actually good, in my personal opinion, it's not a fact, is Spider-Man 2. Like, and I love the. I like the what's it called?
Tom
Yeah.
Holland as Spider-Man is fantastic.
Well, no, I'm not saying no. I love Tom Holland. I'm saying Sony specific movies. Sony's Spider-Man movies specifically with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Those were Sony movies.
Well, wasn't Tom Holland's technically also a Sony movie?
That wasn't a Sony movie.
Wasn't.
That was a part. No, that was made by Marvel.
I know
by
it was
Disney.
a partnership, but I thought
Yeah.
Sony was the one that. Okay.
Disney flipped the cost and did all the action and the directing and stuff on that side for Tom Holland's. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so overall, like we said, like Spider-Man 2 coming this October 20th. Get it as soon as you possibly can. We're gonna have a fun discussion on that once we play it. And hopefully, Smitty, if you could beat it in a good orderly amount of time, we could do a good discussion about that too.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna try my best.
We could force a weekend where like we have like a sleepover weekend, and I help you beat it.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Then you'll know.
great.
Then we'll both know.
Yep.
All right. How about Smitty? It's your turn. What do you bring to the table, my dude?
I am up next. Yeah. So some more troubling news on the esports side of things. It was just announced that Activision Blizzard's esports division laid off 50 employees, which again, anytime anybody's getting laid off, it's unfortunate. That's real people losing jobs. What's really crazy though is that they didn't even try to like reallocate them, or they didn't even have the opportunity to see if there was another job or another position. They just straight got rid of the people.
Wow.
Yeah, no, which is brutal, especially on the heels of the fact that Diablo 4, with that launch, they brought in the second quarter they went from 1.64 billion to 2.46 billion dollars. So they increased their revenue substantially with the release of Diablo 4, and then we had this new season that came out too, so people are actively going in and doing that stuff. But these employees were specifically for their esports division, which again, you got to start looking at if their esports division, basically a lot of it is I mean, that's the Overwatch League essentially, and there's been some shaking and moving over there. I know that there's talks about some of their people in higher positions, them kind of doing a shakeup and stuff like that. We know that Overwatch 2 is coming to Steam here next month, so that should help boost the numbers. But what I want to read directly from this in terms of what they said, what's going on with these teams and like contract agreements. Just quoting from Game Informer, these layoffs precede what might be a large shakeup to Activision Blizzard's esports efforts, although that will come down to a vote made by esports team owners later this year. Here's what the company's financial results say on that vote. As previously disclosed, our collaborative arrangements for our professional esports leagues continue to face headwinds, during the second quarter, we amended certain terms of our collaborative arrangements with team entities participating in Overwatch League. According to the amended terms, following the conclusion of the current Overwatch League season, the teams will vote on an updated operating agreement. If the teams do not vote to continue under an updated operating agreement, a termination fee of $6 million will be payable to each participating team entity. Total fee of approximately $114 million. As of June 30th, 2023, a termination liability has not been accrued. Total revenues from the Overwatch League comprise less than 1% of our consolidated net revenues. So, number one, it costs way more than that to even have a team in Overwatch League. So, they're not even getting... I mean, it's upwards of $25 million just for a team, and then there's their yearly stuff. And really, I mean, the big thing for this is the fact that esports still hasn't quite gained that popularity as it has over in the East, in Europe, and other places. So it still hasn't really found its footing in the United States. I know that they're trying to kind of build this traditional sports field to these with having hometowns and home cities, but a lot of these teams are comprised of people that are not from these places in itself. So there's a big disconnect in terms of the players and then the popularity of these folks becoming household names and things like that. To me, the big boost is really going to be, which I think is still a number of years down the road, is the casino industry getting involved within sports betting. I think once folks can sports bet, which we got a little taste of it during the pandemic, when there was no sports going on, they opened it up in emergency regulation to allow sports betting on some esports competitions. So, you know, it's very much in their mindset, and I've been at some conferences. They're talking about this stuff. It's just getting the regulatory boards and all that stuff in order. But this is
not.
Don't
you kind of feel? I'm sorry, but don't you kind of feel like you think that? I mean, yeah, you're right. The popularity of esports here in the States is nowhere near to the levels of what it is overseas, or let alone, it never hits that level of popularity than what we see on crazy streams in South Korea and stuff. However, don't you kind of feel that Overwatch themselves kind of misstepped quite a bit a couple of times, besides the fact that they lied to everybody what Overwatch 2 was going to be, but also the like what we were discussing before, like what Lex brought up earlier about when they decided to move from Twitch to YouTube for this kind of thing, and then as well as it's just not as popular because of all these moves that they've done with the game itself. It's just not as popular as it once was, that people lost their interest in this kind of competitive this kind of competitiveness in that game. Like for them to kind of come to say, you know what, to the team owners, you know what, do y'all still want to do this? That's essentially what they're doing. Do y'all still want to do this? If you're wanting to opt out, we'll give you $6 million back of your money, even though it was $25 million to get into this thing. Do you feel like you're getting a profit back towards this kind of deal and stuff like that? I mean, it just seems like it seems like it's going down.
Plus the yearly upkeep of that. So I think there was a yearly 10 million on top of it. Was 25 for the initial.
Insane.
Plus more money every year as dues, right? So and they're only getting 6 million back. So it's very much a slap in the face, and I don't know why they thought, again, with the move, you guys screwed yourselves. You lost so much as far as investments and ad revenue when you moved. Who didn't calculate that? Who didn't think, oh, this isn't going to move over with us? Because that person should have been the one that got fired, not all these other people who, poor souls, they don't even get an option to move elsewhere in the company. They're just gone.
But then again, I think it was also streaming rights, because at the time, the place to go for all this competition was Twitch. For the longest of time, everything was on Twitch. Call of Duty, Destiny, all these different kinds of tournaments were on Twitch. YouTube was wanting to expand, so I bet you $1,000,000 YouTube probably gave them a money
Oh
offer
yeah.
saying, "Hey, we're gonna move. Like, hey, we want Overwatch League to be moved over to YouTube, and we got exclusivity rights to stream specifically competitive games for, let's say, $100 million or 200, basically gas money for YouTube level, so
Yeah.
yeah. And then at the time, maybe they were like, yeah, you know what, this is a possibility. I mean, and it's also maybe at the business standpoint, they're like saying, dude, we're killing it in Twitch, but we're wanting to show new eyes on it on a new platform and take the risk and see if they can expand the view to YouTube, which obviously the game it didn't
Didn't
do.
work.
See, yeah, so I mean, in a way, I could kind of see why they decided to do it, because it's just like, how you watch like a Marvel movie. The Marvel movie isn't meant for the person that knows these characters already or the comic book fans for it. It's for introducing it to new crowds and introductions for this kind of thing. I think that's what they were trying to do, but it just failed miserably because the game sucks.
I mean, to me though, the game, I mean, that whole system was never going to be profitable. They were banking on the idea of traditional sports. We had the pandemic that happened, which completely halted that stuff. They didn't shift. I feel like the esports industry, or at least some of these Western ones, did not shift quickly enough to be able to provide a good digital experience. In the meantime, they were moving from Twitch to YouTube, and I know they got that upfront money, but it was never going to be sustainable because people don't watch YouTube lives as much as, I mean, Twitch is the leading platform for a reason, you know what I'm saying? So like, I felt like that was a huge loss in itself, but it was just never sustainable because they were trying to create what they were trying to create. I just feel like the United States isn't there yet with esports and then you have a game that now the community doesn't like a lot, and there's been all kinds of missteps, and there's too many games. We've said it time and time again. There's too many games out there that are too good to sit there and play a game that you're like, why am I playing this? I could just move on to the plethora of other great games that are out there right now, like Exoprimal.
Yeah, right. So we had someone in the
Good plug.
chat. I'm gonna call you Doctor Forever. I said, if Kick offers them more money, would you favor that move? The thing is it would be the same situation as it is with YouTube. They would get that initial boost with money, and then the advertisers aren't over there yet. They just aren't, and the viewership uh isn't over there yet. Like the numbers that they got on Twitch and on YouTube wouldn't be able to get met over on Kick yet. And so could that in the future be an option? Sure. Is it going to be now? No. But it at this time, at this juncture, it wouldn't be able to work either way. Again, it'd be like getting gas money, you know? It just
It sounds too risky, but I
Piggybacking,
mean,
yeah.
I mean,
Piggybacking
though,
along
but
that,
if
I
they
would
were
agree.
to offer enough money, because they've got no problem giving streamers $100 million. I mean, for the right price, I don't think it would be a good move or a smart move. It would definitely be something to consider down the road, at least UI, because UI wise, it's closer to Twitch than YouTube.
I
And
don't even know like the level of risk is even going to matter, because like the problem is that money isn't going to be, isn't going to be shared to the teams itself.
right.
The teams are the bigger risk is going to be the teams themselves, because I mean, like you said, these people are bleeding money at that point,
Right.
like, because like even if your pot size is going to be relatively large because of the amount of money that you're dishing that you're offering, that's only one team out of the what, was there 8 or 6? I don't even know, like of multiple teams that kind of do it. So like I think in that situation, I don't know if that would be wise for them to do it if they know that they're losing money, if they know Overwatch League is losing
Right.
money.
I don't think Kick would even offer that from a business standpoint. I think they would be silly too. Maybe 6 months ago, sure. Hey, let's get all this viewership over to our side as like a ploy, maybe could have worked. But again, 6 months ago and now they still don't have the viewership that they need to be sustainable. But from Kick standpoint, that would be a really bad investment, and that could potentially tank their entire website because that could be all of their money that they're getting from investors. You know what I'm saying? So
Here's
I
another
don't
question,
think.
though.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off. Uh, Here's another question, though. Now, is it just Overwatch League that they're seeing these cuts from Activision Blizzard, or is this all around, like Call of Duty, the Call of Duty sides, and all the other online online leagues? Like, is it just specifically Overwatch League that's having these cuts?
My understanding is that it's heavy on that it was basically, excuse me, the folks that are working on Overwatch 2 within it. So I don't know if it affects any. I wouldn't be surprised though, because I'm pretty sure COD League is having similar issues, and even though I feel like it's definitely bigger than Overwatch, obviously, but again, the big thing to me is that it's almost contradictory, because we're looking at these digital aspects, but they're trying to build out, so they're trying to fill like a stadium. They're trying to fill and have that IRL sports event feel to these. I'm pretty sure it's thriving pretty well in Asia. And I know, like, it turned into a regional thing where basically you got the Americas and then you've got an Asian league as well, basically. And I so I don't know what kind of effects it had over there or to them. I just know that there's been struggles on the American side of the league and just its popularity. And like you're saying, the companies are bleeding money. It can't be sustainable to them at all. So that's where that 6 million might be like, yo, dude, we're losing 3.5, 4 million every year that we're doing this, or more. This is actually will at least put us closer to the red. Than no matter what, none of them companies are coming out.
Yeah. Well, might I add
well out of that.
Yeah, might add one thing though too that I forgot that you mentioned earlier too. Like, you said that the full revenue of the Overwatch League was only getting back there. As a company, Blizzard was getting back only 1% back of what that was, which is insane. Because that means, like, when you think about it, Diablo 4 is basically printing them money. Diablo even the shitty game Diablo Immortal is still giving them hands over fist dollars. It's been over a year and a half, even though as bad as the game is, because the level of microtransactions, it may not be doing it as good here, but overseas it is giving them a lot of money constantly too from it. And then you just see this as saying, oh, well, it costs how much to get in, how many people are a part of it, that's costing 25 million, then $10 million a year on top of all this stuff. Like, the amount of money that people are putting in this game just to get 1% back, just automatically in my mind, I'll be like, okay, yeah, we gotta shut this down, because it's just like,
it's not sustainable.
There's no reason to have it up at this point. Yeah, so they got easier, they got way better venues that's giving them more money in a lot simpler time to do it, instead of just constantly paying for the glitz and the glamour and the prize packs and stuff like that without doing all that stuff.
You know what this reminds me of? The show American Gladiators. Like, if you guys haven't watched that documentary, this is essentially like
I haven't
where
yet.
Overwatch is going. Made a lot of promises they couldn't keep and just screwing themselves. It's like, well, all right, bye.
Oh my god! Or better yet, a better comparison, a good comparison of this too is this is the XFL.
Yeah,
I mean, essentially.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
XFL is fantastic. I love that.
It is, but
I think Slam Ball is making a comeback too. I'm being dead serious. I am being dead serious. I'm pretty sure I saw a press release about Slam Ball coming out here to Vegas. Yeah.
No,
with the trampolines and stuff?
Yes, dude.
Oh
I
my
got
God.
asked from somebody I played derby with. The only reason I know this is a thing, someone I used to play roller derby with was like, hey, I got invited to join the slam ball team. It pays X amount of money. Would you be interested? I'm like, girl, I can't jump on a trampoline. Are you kidding? My brain would be cooked. I'm done.
Dr. Forever says, if if they could wait till August 29th, Papa Microsoft will bail them out. I don't think Microsoft
I
will.
don't think Microsoft's gonna be able to.
I think Microsoft will say, you know what? No.
Never mind.
There's absolutely no reason for them to. They got the money. Like I said, like if they're not generating, if it's costing so much money for them to keep this alive, and then overall, like the return is so little. There's no. I mean, that's just common sense to just say to shut it down. I mean, still have the game running, I guess, but at the same time, you don't need to necessarily have a league for it. That's fine.
Chloe on TikTok asks, is that 1% back based just on the revenue from the league, or is that considering the downline game uptake on flow from the coverage of the league?
You know, to be honest with you, from what I'm gathering is that they're talking about. I'm assuming you're talking about the overall back end media revenue that they're getting back towards, like, you know, what they're doing right here, or what you're showing. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. But like, if that's incorporated to their overall gross amount. But
I would
like,
assume that they're talking in totality, but we don't know.
Yeah. So like, to be honest with you, but I just think overall, I just think overall, there's no way that this thing is competing with Diablo 4's money revenue, like, coming into it, like, especially how, like, I don't even know when's the last time I actually sat down and watched I personally watched Overwatch League.
I have it up. I will have it up at times because you get drops and stuff like that for watching it, and you get like in-game currency. Because they finally ported that over for YouTube for it to work with YouTube. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't exist within the next 3 years.
It's going to really be up to the teams though too. Yeah. Like, on top of that, to see if it is, and if they, it's simple. The teams will say, is it worth it for us to put this kind of money in? Are we getting our money back from all of this?
And they definitely ain't getting their money back, dude.
I don't think that they're getting their money back on this. So like, well, at least in America, I mean, probably in Asia they probably are, but like here in America, definitely not. So who knows? All right. Lex, why don't you close us off?
It's my turn. Again, I have another F around and find out for you. If you can please pull up my graph. Thank you, Smitty. We've learned that I like the F around and find out stories, and I've got another one for you today. So if you don't know, the more you F around, the more you find out. And this fool, oh man, he really F'd around and found out. So if you guys don't know, Destiny 2, they have a community manager. I assume that community manager is a person of color. And they shared on one of the community tabs a talented, and this is what it was quoted, a talented Black fan creator of Destiny 2 fan works, as a part of Bungie's My Destiny 2 series. Destiny 2 story series, sorry. Following this artwork, a Destiny 2 player took it upon themselves to begin a campaign of racist terrorism against this community manager. My monitor just went out. Give me a second. Who had highlighted this creator's work. So according to court documents, and I'm going to read this verbatim so we don't miss a step here. The player's surname is Comer. Left anonymous, hideous, bigoted voicemails on the community manager's phone, including asking that the employee convince Bungie to create options in its game in which only persons of color could be killed in the game. Comer then proceeded to threaten the community manager's wife, leaving further racist voicemails and texts for her. Following these messages, Comer used an anonymous number to order a pizza that would then be delivered to this Bungie employee's home, kind of as a I know where you live threat. This delivery came with the instructions to knock loudly on the door at least 5 times. Comer requesting cash on delivery to increase the chance of conflict arising between the community manager and this delivery driver. Comer proceeded to brag about his harassment of this Bungie community manager on an online group, which also had access to a set of sound files and noises labeled as ear beep. Members of this group could use these files as part of their terror campaigns, which this person named Comer proceeded to do, leaving more voicemails on the community manager's phone and also on his wife. Well, Bungie heard about this, didn't like this, and you know what they did? They hired private investigators to find out who this person was. So not only did they protect their employee, they found out who this person was, and they are suing him, and they just won, and this man now has to pay them $500,000 for their actions. So basically, they came to the courts and said, look, if you put a monetary value on how much this person created terror, and not just in our group, but towards our own employee, we think this is a good sum. And the judge said, I agree. So, and it seems TikTok has also figured out who Comer is. And I don't think he has a job anymore. I think he's been outed as a racist to his community. So yeah, again, please put up my graph of if you F around and find out. Thank you. As you can see, the more you F around, the more you find out, right? And this man found out. So I'm glad Bungie did that, because number one, I hate when companies are aware of their employees being targeted. And in this instance, this wasn't just an online bully who was taking jabs at them, leaving them alone, maybe taking jabs at them later on for whatever they posted. No. This was a calculated move from start to finish for this man. And he knew what he was doing. And then he got people to back him up. And so I say, F around and find out, sir, and give me that money. What do you guys think?
We know he's not going to give, like, he definitely doesn't have that kind of cash to give to a company, but
Better
but
get
I will
another
say this,
job then.
Oh yeah. But now on top of that they messed up. I mean, now that he can't, it's gonna have a fun time finding a new job to even compensate towards all of this. But I digress. I think that, like, wow, like, to say that they, like, I didn't even know you can do that. I didn't even really think that it was possible to do something like that. But the overall, like, lesson to this is, guys, just, like, leave people alone. Like, why does it matter at that point?
It is a video game. What are you doing?
But don't you guys know that's their life?
Psychos.
That's their online life.
No, those are psychos. Like, nobody, I'm not gonna go seek somebody out because this game, I don't like this change that you made in the game or whatever the deal is. Like, that is psychopathic. Like, you can't go, and here's the thing, like, I think more of this needs to happen where people are being called out, and I know more has been not only being called out, but some sort of punitive something to happen so people, because, like, these people have always existed, right? The anonymity of the internet had really embiggened people to go out and act a fool. And you see videos all the time where there's these crazy Karens and stuff like that. Like, I haven't personally had an experience like that, but I know about racist ass people. You know what I mean? Yes. And you know, that's just, it is what it is. But, like, these people now are coming out and, like, they are just showing their ass to everybody. And I want more punishment for them, because these people are idiots. Dude. Like, you have the freedom to be an ass, but there's also consequences, whether they be negative or positive, for your actions. Here they are. I mean, so
I just don't even understand it. Like, what just makes it funny about this is, like, this is not even, like, this was a person showing, like, and it's kind of funny because, like, for me, I'm also a black creator, and also, I mean, Smitty's also obviously a black creator and stuff like that, but, like, and the fact that and also she's honorary.
Thank you.
But anyway, but
I get to go to the cookout.
but like, honestly though, it's like, what doesn't make sense to me is that this person was just wanting to, like, it wasn't like he was sharing because he was a black creator. He was sharing because the person that was on the thing, he wanted to share this person's coolness on the stream itself in general, and because he's black, then that's what this person feels emboldened to go do whatever the frick they wanting to do, or say whatever the hell they're wanting to say, and then also take it to the next level of sniping this person because of that, which is Unbelievable.
And then you send pizzas to their house.
Yeah.
Told their wife, like
Right.
whoa,
What
dude,
is
like
that?
what is who does that stuff, dude? Like
I believe there were also children involved, but I
nah,
don't know
dude.
if the article can necessarily talk about that. Now,
Dude, at that point, now I'm coming to find you.
Right.
Yeah,
So
right.
here's the thing, and that's why I think Ravage's comment surprising they didn't go for criminal charges. Here's the thing. Because of the way that this terrorism went down, because it was online, it would have to be the FBI that gets involved. And so if they put charges, it would essentially, I don't know if we would know necessarily until they were, put behind bars. So this is a pretty new developing story. Who's to say that that's not going to happen, especially if there's
Right.
children involved? That could be a stalking charge. They could now be, a registered offender after that, because stalking children is absolutely not okay.
Mhm.
None of this is okay in any aspect, but my mind is blown. Like, how much time do you have on your hands to go through
Yes.
all of this effort? Like, get a fucking hobby. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, learn to knit. I don't get it. Like, just leave people alone. And here's the thing, is someone being racist isn't a criminal offense because that is their opinion. And as we know, the First Amendments say that you can be racist. Okay, whatever. It's really not an opinion. And unfortunately, unless they go this far, criminal charges then can be pursued because it's considered a terroristic act and a hate crime. But prior to that, him just spouting on the internet wouldn't be. You know what I mean? And so thankfully they were able to investigate and figure out who it was. But the whole thing sucks. The whole thing sucks.
No,
But I'm so
Here's
proud
my
of
thing,
Bungie.
dude. Like, I would rather somebody be outwardly racist
Oh, for sure.
than
I know who to stay away
not.
from.
Than not. Yeah, exactly. It's like it's a closet ones that you gotta watch out for. But I mean, again, it's something that is always going to
Boggles your
exist and stuff like that. But like, I'm glad I like to see that there's companies like, nah, dude, this is not okay. And they need to set example for folks that are doing crazy stuff like that, dude. It's like, I don't care what, it's a game. Don't be creeping on people's family and sending pizzas. Like, if you've gone that far down the road, you are a psychopath. That's what I got to say about that, dude. And like, at that point in time, dude, like, for me personally, like, what happened today, somebody says something dumb. You have the freedom to say something dumb, but you also have the freedom to get slapped in the mouth for saying something dumb. So that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's, that's how we did things. Nowadays, so everything, everybody's on the internet and stuff like that. So they feel, protected, and like Rav was saying, a VPN, I'm safe. But there's ways to, do that. And again, I'm not condoning any of this stuff or anything. I'm just saying, like, the fact that this stuff is still happening, and it seems to be, I don't know that it's ramping up. I think it's just more visible because people have cameras and people are recording it and putting it out there. But this stuff has always been there, and you know what I mean? Like, people, it just weren't privy to actually seeing it. Now people are seeing it. It is in full force, and these people have no shame and will do it. It's always funny, they'll backtrack afterward and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I would never say this. I was just angry. Like, who just does that? I'm angry, so I'm going to drop the N-bomb.
Right. And we talked about this. I've never said that word in my life, and I don't think that if there could ever be a situation where I could get mad enough to say that word ever. And so when they say that, I'm like, that's bullshit, because that's the last word I think of in any situation. Like, it just doesn't come up. That has always been a no-no word. That was never meant for me. I don't fucking say it. So fun fact, I don't fucking say it ever. And
yeah, I would say this, perfect way to close it is what NT Man said on Twitch, which was, social media made y'all way too comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. Mike Tyson quoted that, so that's pretty
absolutely
doing my graph.
Yeah, exactly.
Punching through the whiteboard. Yeah, that'd be great.
I know, like people that SWAT, same thing. Like, who even thinks about doing something like that to a person? Dude, somebody could get
You're
killed.
putting them in danger.
Like that is not funny.
Yeah.
Somebody did get killed for it. Yeah, and I think that person got the person was prosecuted, right? The person they found the person that SWAT.
20 years in jail, right? Something like that.
Yeah, which is, I mean, again, dude, like this stuff. Like, I don't understand how people even find this stuff funny. It's creepy. It's making people not want to do the stuff because you know your life is potentially in danger because there's some salty fanboy that's sitting there taking a game too seriously and is like, I'm gonna do some crazy stuff now. And that's scary, man. Like, look, dude, like I like to make video games or I like to talk about video games or whatever. Dude, don't come at me, dude, on some weird stuff like that. Because I'm telling you,
you have a different opinion
like
of whatever he says. Yeah, I totally agree. It just, I know. It's just, it's dumb.
It'll be a taken situation.
My last comment.
I will find you. I am coming for you.
Just a friendly reminder. I would never say if you're ever around me, don't ever say that word. I have a real fast backhand, and I've got about 8 on my list that even just singing a song with them in the car, just no, my hand, it slipped. Don't say
I also have that trigger in my head. It's crazy. I don't even think about it. It just happens.
I'm real. I can't control it. I don't know. Just be careful around me.
That's hilarious, folks. Thank you for listening to episode number 183 of the CFG Game Cast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation, as always. We will be back again next week. I will not be here, but we will hopefully get a special guest to fill my seat, and we'll have another full, awesome conversation, as always. But in the meantime, if you did miss out on this episode, that is perfectly all right. We put it on all podcast services at the beginning of each and every week on Monday mornings, so you can listen to us on Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, all of them. So there's absolutely no reason to miss out on all sexy voices. Guys, thank you so much. And also be sure to keep an eye out on our website, confreaksandgeeks.com. Here within the next couple of weeks, we'll be doing a lot of content of Final Fantasy FanFest, DreamCon, Evo 2023. We will have some stuff in the making this week, in the next couple of weeks. So y'all should definitely check us out. So once again, this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing off. Y'all take it easy.
Bye.